Hello students, I am Kausar Jahan Khatib from Department of Physics, Nehru PU College, Hubli. Today we are going to study the first unit in physics, that is electric charges and fields. This unit comes under electrostatics. Electrostatics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of electric forces, electric fields and electric potentials due to electric charges at rest. Here, the name itself indicates its definition as it is consisting of two terms. The first is electro and then statics. The term electro is indicating electric charge and the static means at rest. So whenever we are going to study electric charge, its different properties and its behavior when it is at rest, that is categorized under a separate branch that is called as electrostatics. So now let us see the basic part of this unit, that is electric charge. Electric charge is a physical quantity of a matter because of which it experiences an electric force when placed near other matter. As we all know, matter is anything which is having certain mass, volume and it occupies certain space. For example, this screen, it is having certain mass, volume and it needs some space to place this. That's why it is called an example of a matter. There are three types of matter, namely solid, liquid and gases. Let us take that we have two solid bodies, and if at all there is some electric force existing between them, then that is just because of electric charge. So electric charge is a physical quantity of any matter because of which it experiences an electric force when placed near other matter. So here electric charge is a scalar quantity. Scalar quantity is a physical quantity which is having only magnitude. Here I can say that I have one charge, two charge, or just we are defining its number, that this much of charge we have. We cannot specify its direction. So any of the physical quantity which is having only magnitude but no direction is called as a scalar quantity. Because electric charge doesn't specify any particular direction, so we are calling this as a scalar quantity. The SI unit of electric charge is coulomb, which is indicated by a capital letter C. Let us understand the electric charge by taking certain examples here. So first example is, you should take a comb, move this comb over your hair, then take small pieces of paper, bring these two close to each other, then it is observed that again and again the small pieces of paper are moving towards comb. All that we have here is just a plastic comb and paper, but they are coming close to one another, they are attracting each other. Why this is observed? It is just because of electric charge. Electric charge here is produced after rubbing the comb, after moving the comb over our hair. Electric charges are produced on the comb because of which it is experiencing electrostatic force on the paper, because of which it is attracting the pieces of paper. So once again we can recall the definition of electric charge. Electric charge is the physical quantity of a matter because of which it is experiencing an electric force when placed near other matter. Here it is the physical quantity of comb because of which it is attracting the pieces of paper. So let us take some other example. Here we have a glass rod and a silk cloth. Rub the glass rod with the silk cloth. When we are rubbing these to each other, some of the electrons from the glass rod are transferred to the silk cloth. One thing that we should remember here is any body which is giving some electrons becomes positively charged At the same time, a body which is receiving some electrons, which is accepting some electrons, becomes negatively charged. So here in this example, glass rod by giving some electrons becomes positively charged, and because silk cloth is accepting some electrons, so it becomes negatively charged. So here you can see a positively charged glass rod and equivalent number of the negative charges on the silk cloth. So next, on the basis of this, I can have two types of charges, that is positive charge and negative charges. Now let us see how these charges are going to behave in different situations. So let us take two glass rods. Rub these two glass rods with silk cloth. Just now we have seen whenever we rub a glass rod with the silk cloth, glass rod gives electrons to the silk cloth and it becomes positively charged. So such two positively charged glass rods we have taken and bring these two glass rods close to one another. Then it is observed that they start moving away from each other. They are moving away from each other is nothing but repulsion. So these two positively charged glass rods are repelling each other. So I can say that two glass rods rubbed with silk cloth repel each other. Let us take another situation. Here we can take rubber rod or a plastic rod. Rub these two rubber rods with wool or a cotton. When we are rubbing a rubber rod with cotton, some of the electrons from the wool are taken by rubber rod. So because rubber rod is taking some electrons, so it becomes negatively charged. So I have here two such negatively charged rods. Let us take that I have two negatively charged rods. When we bring these two close to one another, again after certain distance they start moving away from each other. So two negatively charged rubber rods are repelling each other. Two rubber rods or plastic rods rubbed with wool repel each other. Then the third situation, let us take one glass rod which is rubbed with silk cloth and another plastic rod which is rubbed with wool. The glass rod which is rubbed with silk becomes positively charged and the rubber rod which is rubbed with wool becomes negatively charged. So I have one positively charged rod, another negatively charged rod. When we bring these two close to one another, we are observing that again and again they start coming close to one another. That is, they are getting attracted. So I can say that the glass rods rubbed with the silk cloth and rubber or plastic rod rubbed with wool attracts each other. On the basis of all these three activities, we can come to a conclusion that whenever we are having like charges, similar charges, there will always be repulsion between them. Like if I have one positive charges and there is another positive charges, always they start moving away, always there is a repulsion. Or if I have negative charge, there is another negative charge, then also there will be repulsion between them. In another case, I can say that whenever we have two unlike charges, two dissimilar charges, like if one is positively charged, another is negatively charged, then they always come close to each other, that is, they are attracting each other. So these are some of the basic properties of electric charge, that like charges always repel each other and unlike charges always attract each other. Now let us see some of the types of substances. The first one is conductor. Conductors are the substances which allow large number of electric charges to flow through them. As we all know that any substance is made up of large number of atoms. So each atom will be consisting of electrons, protons and neutrons. So in this particular type of substances, there will be large number of such electrons which are free to move, and such electrons are called as free electrons or free charges, or you may also call it as mobile charges. So because we are having large number of such free charges, so this substance is allowing them to move easily. So I can say the substances which allow large number of electric charges to flow through them are called as conductors. Let us see some of the examples of the conductors are silver, copper, aluminium, iron, earth, human bodies as well as animal bodies are some of the examples of conductors. These are the substances which are having large number of free electrons, and those free electrons can easily move through these substances. The next type of substance is insulator. Insulators are, again, they are also consisting of atoms, but in this we do not find large number of free electrons, free charges or mobile charges. That's why if at all there are some free electrons, they will be negligible. So these are the substances which do not allow the large number of electric charges to flow through them because of negligible amount of the free charges or mobile charges. Now let us see some of the examples of insulators, which are here glass, rubber, plastic or wood. Glass, rubber, plastic, wood, all these are the substances which do not allow mobile charges or free charges to flow through them, is just because of the less number of the mobile charges or free electrons. So today in this video we studied about the electric charge, its properties, the basic properties of the electric charge, different types of the electric charge, and some of the types of the substances like conductors and insulators. So we conclude here. Thank you.